You know, the whole thing with NWA was it, again, politics that made you leave the group?
Politics. It was a guy named Jerry Heller. It was the whole divide and conquer type thing.
Rap beefs and diss tracks have always pumped life through hip-hop's veins. Every real fan knows, these clashes go way deeper than rhymes. They're about ego, legacy, and survival in a world where words can crown you or crush you in a single verse. The energy, the pressure, the pride, it all bleeds through the mic when two heavyweights lock in. The Tupac and Biggie war wasn't just two rappers trading shots. It was the East versus the West, a cultural earthquake that left scars across the game. The tension was real, the losses were tragic, and the silence that followed hit harder than any beat drop. That silence said everything. Then came NWA versus Ice Cube, a lyrical storm that split Compton's loyalty in two. Fans watched friendships turn to fury, and the booth became the battlefield. After that, Nas and Jay-Z took the throne war to new heights. Ether and Takeover weren't just tracks. They were statements carved into hip-hop history. Eminem's feud with Benzino, that was pure annihilation. Every verse was a reminder that when M's in battle mode, no one's safe. Rap beefs shape eras, start debates, and remind everyone that hip-hop breathes through conflict and competition. One diss can elevate your name forever, or bury it. The wrong target, the wrong bar, and your career can collapse overnight. Just ask Benzino. Going at Eminem was more than risky. It was fatal. His rep crumbled, the Source magazine lost its grip, and the streets moved on without him. That's how cold the game is. Some artists duck the smoke, knowing one wrong feud could end it all. But not 50 Cent, he ran toward it. From Ja Rule and The Game to Cameron, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, and even Nas, 50 turned beef into an art form. He stayed standing when others folded, using conflict as his brand of survival. But out of all his rivalries, the one with Lil Wayne hit different. Nobody saw that coming, yet it turned into a heavyweight collision of pride and dominance. It wasn't just bars, it was about control, respect, and who really ran the culture back then. The air was thick every time they spoke on each other. Fans waited, tense and silent, for the next move. And when it came, it wasn't small, it was war.
Fuck 2 quarters. Bitch, I pour syrup in that vitamin water. I hope you die ugly in tonight.
But what made this beef so wild was how deep the pettiness ran. It started back in 2007, peak Lil Wayne season. Everywhere you turned, his voice was there. Hooks, remixes, mixtapes, radio spins. Wayne owned every frequency like it was his personal empire. Every artist wanted that Wayne feature just to borrow some of his shine. He wasn't just hot, he was untouchable. So when 50 Cent sat down with Funkmaster Flex that same year, Wayne's name was bound to come up. Flex asked him straight, what did he think about Lil Wayne's run? At first, 50 gave props like a pro, calling Wayne talented and unstoppable. But 50 being 50, he couldn't let it end on respect. He cracked a grin, then dropped the jab that started it all. He laughed and called Wayne a whore, mocking how he'd jump on every feature like he had no standards. The room froze for a second. That silence was heavier than any beat drop. That one line flipped the mood across the industry. It could have ended there if pride didn't get involved. Wayne didn't bite at first, stayed quiet, smooth, like he hadn't even heard it. But with someone like Wheezy, silence don't mean surrender. It's just calm before the comeback. Because in this game, patience is power. And Wayne was just waiting for the right moment to let it all burn.
Where you at, Wayne? You the full course meal, Wayne. You awfully quiet. You call him out, well now I'm out. I got my wild chest out. You gotta get past me to get to him. I'm the baby over here. I'm the smallest nigga in my clique. Shady out the motherfucking man, nigga. 3-headed monster. 50.
It came out that Pimp C had actually pulled Lil Wayne aside and told him straight, don't feed that fire. He warned him that when you react to drama, you give the other man control. The one who starts it always wins the attention, even if they lose the argument. That was wisdom from a vet who'd seen how this industry twists things just to make headlines. Pimp C knew the game, and Wayne listened. He was surrounded by real ones who understood that silence sometimes makes more noise than shouting. At first, 50's comments could have been brushed off as another wild moment, just him clowning for laughs. But 50 wasn't joking. He doubled down and let it be known. This wasn't playful, it was personal. Then he dropped Part-Time Lover, and that's when it got grimy. In that track, he mocked both Wayne and Birdman, tossing slick jabs that cut deeper than humor. He questioned their bond in ways that had the whole culture watching, talking, and replaying every word. It was vintage 50, fearless, petty, and surgical with the disrespect. By then, 50 had sent 2 clean shots Wayne's way. But Wheezy? Still cool, still quiet. No interviews, no sneak disses, no reaction at all. It was like he had that Pimp C advice tattooed on his mind. Don't give the instigator his shine. But 50 didn't stop. He never does. This was just his warm-up round, and he was already plotting the next move. Meanwhile, Wayne's glow only got brighter. That same year, he wasn't just on top, he was the top. MTV officially crowned him the #1 rapper alive on their hottest MCs in the game list. The streets agreed. Wheezy had the crown and 50 couldn't stand it.
80 out the motherfucking man, nigga. 380 months. 50. M.
But you already know, that kind of success never sits quietly. When one man's glow gets too bright, somebody else starts feeling the heat. And with 50 Cent, that's exactly what happened. The man's pride don't allow him to watch another rapper wear the crown without saying something. Seeing Wayne get that #1 title lit a spark in him, one that burned straight into the next interview. So when a reporter caught up with 50, he didn't waste the moment. Instead of showing love, he turned the spotlight into shade. When asked about Wayne's spot at the top, 50 flipped it. He asked the reporter if he could even name the first single off Wayne's last album. The reporter froze, couldn't say a word. 50 laughed hard and used that silence like ammo. He called Wayne all hype, no hits. Said he had the fame, but not the songs that stick. It was classic 50, slick, sharp, and ruthless with the delivery. The kind of jab that leaves a sting long after the cameras stop rolling. Most people thought that would finally set Wayne off. But nah, he stayed calm, humble, and unshaken. Instead of barking back, he spoke from a place of peace. That's crazy, man. I ain't messing with 50, he too high up there. I can't even deal with none of that. The way he said it, smooth, real, almost disarming. It threw everyone off because he flipped 50's energy without even trying. Wayne went on to say, "That's my man though. I respect that. My name came out the homie's mouth, no homo. I respect him. I just take it as a compliment. That man's a trillionaire. I'm trying to get there, homie. I'm smart. I ain't dumb." Those were his exact words. Calm, confident, calculated. He played it like chess while 50 was still swinging. But deep down, the air was thick. You could feel it. The tension was still rising, and this storm wasn't done yet.
Hey, what's up? Alright, y'all caught me. I was practicing for my new rock and roll.
Wayne didn't let ego take the wheel. He played it smart, calm, measured, and full of respect. When he called 50 a trillionaire in spirit, he wasn't talking about money. He meant power, presence, and grind. To Wayne, 50 wasn't just another rapper throwing shade. He was a boss, an architect of his own empire. Wayne understood that beefing with a man like that could only slow him down. So instead of feeding the fire, he kept the focus on his hustle and his paper. That silence spoke louder than any diss could. It seemed like Wayne was still holding tight to Pimp C's wisdom. Stay cool, stay strategic, and never let emotions mess with your money. For a while, things even looked peaceful. Fans thought the smoke had cleared and both camps had moved on. But peace in hip-hop? That never lasts long. Everything flipped when a track called Louisiana Animal leaked from Wayne's camp in 2008. The song wasn't just another mixtape cut. It was a message. The opening bars alone had people replaying, trying to catch hidden shots. Listeners started to wonder if this was Wayne's quiet way of answering back after all the jabs 50 had thrown his way. That leak? It marked the true beginning of their war. The calm was gone. The gloves were off! From that point on, both rappers began firing. Some shots were direct, others subtle enough to make fans analyze every lyric. But Wayne didn't flinch. After Louisiana Animal, he kept his foot on the gas and took it a step further. Then came a record from the late, great Pimp C, Let's Talk Money, featuring Lil Wayne and T-Pain. It should have been all about success and shine. But Wayne had a message tucked in there, quiet but sharp. A few lines that slid straight toward 50 Cent, smooth as a whisper and cold as a warning.
And we had an interview with Fishy recently, right? And and 50 was talking about the Louisiana Animal record. He said, he should have Wayne should explain it because I don't know if he leaked it. I don't know if it was reported before that came out. He said, there's no clarity about that record. Do you have a response for him on that?
You said it never rained in Southern California? Wow. That's why I didn't see.
What made this chapter even more interesting was Pimp C's shift in tone. The same man who once told Wayne to rise above the noise was now letting him send a few shots of his own. Maybe it was loyalty, maybe it was knowing Wayne had earned his right to answer back. Either way, it said something powerful. Even Pimp C was done holding him back. It was like he looked at Wayne and said, "All right, go handle your business." And Wayne did. Quiet, smooth, and surgical. He didn't shout or throw tantrums. He didn't need to. His bars were coded, poetic, and heavy once you caught the message. It was like he wrapped venom in velvet, classy but deadly. Those who knew, knew. Every listener who caught those lines could feel the tension humming underneath the beat. Wayne had just told 50, "Yeah, I heard you. Now hear this." It was slick, confident, and full of power. But 50, he didn't take it lightly. The man went straight into battle mode, locked himself in the studio and came out with not one, but two brand new tracks early in 2009, both stacked with shots aimed directly at Lil Wayne. He wasn't hinting, he was declaring war. And he made sure the streets heard every bar by pushing those records heavy on the radio. The sound was raw, mocking, and unmistakably 50, a man who thrived on chaos. Meanwhile, another situation was brewing behind the scenes. Around 2008, Lil Wayne had reached out to Eminem for a collaboration, a dream matchup for many fans. But M never responded, and that silence had people guessing. Later, when Wayne sat down with DJ Envy and DJ Enough, known as DJ MTS at the time, he let a little frustration slip. He joked that maybe Eminem was scared to hop on a track with him. That one line blew up fast, had fans buzzing and critics laughing. But underneath it all, it showed Wayne's unshakable confidence. He believed he could go bar for bar with anyone, even M. Eventually, in 2010, that collab finally happened with No Love, and they tore the track apart, proving the chemistry was real. That move put the M situation to rest, but the 50 Cent beef? It kept growing. 50 wasn't content with just songs. He wanted to embarrass Wayne on every platform, so he took it digital. At that time, he was already clowning Rick Ross and DJ Khaled on his YouTube channel. But of course, he had to slide Wayne into the mix too. The video was wild, full of trolling, jokes, and over-the-top sketches, the kind of chaos only 50 could pull off. It was disrespectful, but strategic, keeping his name buzzing while keeping the tension alive. By then, the beef wasn't just about lyrics anymore. It had turned into pure theater, the kind that had hip-hop fans glued to every next move.
Niggas don't understand lifestyle, the cost of living.
Before diving into his rants about Rick Ross and DJ Khaled, 50 pulled one of his classic troll moves, the kind only he could pull off with a straight face. He grabbed a guitar, strummed a few awkward strings, and proudly announced that he was working on a rock album. The crowd laughed, but hip-hop heads knew exactly what was going on. This wasn't about music. It was 50's slick, sarcastic way of clowning Lil Wayne, who had just gone public with his own rock-inspired project, Rebirth. It was pure 50, turning someone else's creativity into a punchline just to prove he could steal the spotlight. But for Wayne, the tension was still real. Even if he didn't bark back, you could tell the feud was sitting in the back of his mind. When an interviewer asked if Louisiana Animal was a diss aimed at 50, he dodged the question smoothly, switched topics mid-sentence like it was nothing. It was cool, but too clean to be coincidence. Then came another moment that told its own story. During a video appearance, Wayne picked up a book, flipped a few pages, stopped on one that showed a photo of 50, and just grinned, laughing right into the camera. Petty? Absolutely. But that's hip-hop. Sometimes a smirk hits harder than a bar. After that, things went quiet. A whole year passed with no disses, no sneak shots, no energy between them. Fans started thinking maybe the storm had passed. Maybe both men had finally moved on. But if you know 50, you know peace isn't in his playbook. He's the kind of man who keeps every score, every word, every headline. He always needs the last say. And sure enough, he came swinging again with Love, Hate, Love, a hard-hitting track that dropped like a final warning shot. The beat was cold, the lyrics colder. In it, 50 took one last jab at Wayne, daring him to respond, reminding the world that even when the smoke clears, his grudges never fade. That's who he is, a man who thrives off the tension. But Wayne, he was past it. No replies, no sneak bars, no energy wasted. That silence was his mic drop, the quiet ending to one of hip-hop's most petty yet entertaining rivalries. For years, fans had watched these two trade bars like chess moves, every step calculated, every word meant to sting. And now, the war had finally cooled off. Then came the twist no one saw coming. A few years later, people spotted both rappers at the same events. Major boxing matches, sitting just a few seats apart like nothing ever happened. The air was calm, almost surreal after all that back and forth. And in 2012, when Lil Wayne suffered a serious seizure that had fans fearing the worst, 50 surprised everyone. He sent Wayne his well wishes publicly. That moment said it all. The beef was done. What was once war had turned into quiet respect, sealed with maturity instead of another track. That moment showed real growth. Quiet respect between two giants who didn't need to say it out loud. But you know how it goes. Peace in hip-hop never stays permanent. Fast forward to 2023, and suddenly both names were back lighting up headlines again. Word spread that Lil Wayne had stormed out of a 50 Cent concert, and social media exploded. Fans couldn't stop asking, was this another misunderstanding, or had old wounds finally reopened? Whatever it was, one truth became clear. In rap, some rivalries never die. They just sleep until the next spark wakes them up. Turns out the 2023 drama wasn't even about 50 directly. Reports later revealed that someone from the backstage crew had pushed Lil Wayne aside as he was trying to make his way to the stage, probably not realizing who they'd just touched. Big mistake. Wayne didn't take it lightly. He got heated, stormed off, and never came back to perform that night. What could have been a powerful reunion moment between two legends instantly turned into another viral misunderstanding. The silence that followed said it all. Old tension has a way of echoing even when nobody's talking. But while Wayne's situation blew up online, 50 was having his own chaos on the same night. His mic started glitching mid-performance, and in typical 50 Cent fashion, he lost patience. Launched it into the crowd. That mic accidentally struck Hannah Monaghan, a well-known radio host for Power 106, and things escalated fast. Police got involved, and what was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into another messy headline. The spotlight burned brighter than the show itself. Since then, both 50 and Wayne have kept things quiet. No sneak disses, no interviews, no hidden shots, just respect from a distance. It's like both finally realized there's nothing left to prove. They'd already carved their legacies deep into hip-hop's concrete. Still, fans can't help but wonder if that final chapter is truly written. Could they ever share a stage again, shoulder to shoulder like kings who outlasted the chaos? Or is this rivalry destined to remain a memory sealed in the past? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. This was more than a feud. It was two worlds colliding, shaping a story that reminded everyone what real hip-hop tension feels like. If you enjoyed diving into this wild back and forth between 50 Cent and Lil Wayne, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might be even crazier.